Hello, everybody. This is Tyler, and I'm joined with my co-host.
My name is Dylan. It's nice to meet you guys. This is our
The
first episode.
actual Dylan from the Mr. D's Happy Hour podcast. I
Wow.
know. I can't believe that I was able to get him on to my new podcast. So this
Shut up.
is like Zatexel's Monday Music Half Hour
I
or
thought it was
more.
Music Mondays.
Zatexel Music Mondays.
It's
Yeah, I don't
okay.
know.
I'll give it to you.
I forgot the name. You named it. It's
I
just
didn't
my
name it.
show.
You named it. It was your
Mm.
idea.
This wasn't even my idea. This was your idea, and you said you should do this show, and so I said, okay, I guess I'll do this show
You're
because
just
I've
a
been.
really good. You're a really good talker, man.
Oh, I
You really got a
yeah.
lot
I
of
just
aspects to talk about.
and I've wanted to get back into this whole YouTube thing. So hopefully this is a great way to sort of ease into things. These podcasts are a very in thing. So basically, this is just going to be me, hopefully Dylan, and maybe a guest here or there, just talking about all things music, whether it be new music releases, whether it be somebody like Ozzy Osbourne retiring from touring, whether it be music equipment, CD and vinyl and
He retired.
8-track releases. So yeah, words. What a great way to start. Yeah, so Ozzy Osbourne's retiring because his back is messed up a lot.
Well, did he mess it up doing regular people things, or did he like do it when he was playing music on
I th-
stage?
I think I think it all stems from his ATV accident that he had a couple years back, where the ATV
So
landed on his spine.
it was like pretty inevitable.
I mean, I wouldn't say an ATV accident is inevitable. I
How
mean,
old is he?
he's 70.
Well, I mean, come on, man. How many more years do you got in you at 70?
Uh, Anywhere between none and 40.
Well, I mean, the 40
You're
years that you live after 70, I don't think you'd be jumping around on stage being an old rocker.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, Ozzy is God. He is. What hasn't he done? You know, he's a Looney Tune, and if there's anyone who deserves retirement, it's him. You know, he's. I mean, heavy metal exists today because of Black Sabbath. You know,
Is
so
that what started heavy metal?
um, I I'm not a metalhead, so I have
I'm
no
not
room
either.
to talk on this. But yeah, I mean, I'd say that like it was, if not like the first, it was one of the earliest instances of like turning up loud guitars even louder and being like, this isn't rock and roll, this is
Well,
metal.
it's just crazy to me. What do you think, like, if we were born back then, before, like, the great progression of music, what do you think, like, we would be into? What do you, because, like, who first off, like, just decided I'm going to play heavy guitar and I'm going to start screaming and singing very loudly and I'm going to make this and call this punk? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Paul McCartney.
really?
Well, no, but yes. Do you know the Beatles song Helter Skelter?
Yeah, I am familiar with it.
Do
Yeah.
you know what year that came out?
What, like 80s, something like
68.
that? Oh my god, dude!
1968. Yeah.
I forget how time works
How
sometimes.
yeah, so imagine you're listening to the Beatles, like, White Album. It's just the album that's just called The Beatles, and you're listening to it. There's 30 songs on it, and you're listening to it on vinyl like you had to do back in the day, and then you just hear, and then you're like, "What?" And then Paul just starts going, "Yeah!" Like, there were probably some parents that were like, "You can't listen to the Beatles no more," because today, like, someone screams in music, you're like, yeah, whatever. Screaming. They're
Yeah, that's pretty
expressing
typical.
themselves. In 68, I'm not sure how many people were like rambling on about nonsense loudly. I wonder if Helter Skelter was meant to parody Yoko Ono.
All I
because
can say is when you
yeah.
like pave the way and stuff like that in music, I feel like you have to have a lot of guts because doing something like that is so. It would be so scary. Like I just feel like I feel like to be able to get on stage in front of an audience that like have never heard something like that before, and you don't know how they're going to react, they could just boo you off. That's a
Yeah,
major hit to your ego if they did that.
right, and especially because like, back then, like, there wasn't, like, a way of really just, like, being like, "Hey, like, here" you either heard somebody, like, on the very limited radio or saw them on TV, I would imagine, and then, like, or, like you said, you just discovered them live, and so it's like,
Yeah.
when you're doing something different, if it works, that's cool, but if it doesn't work, then you're just you I well, then you're just a jazz fusion band, right? I'm
How did
kidding. I'm kidding. Ha ha. That was all. That was a joke.
nobody realized that was a joke? But we'll just move on from
Well, I
that,
didn't wanna insult jazz musicians and be like, "Oh,
bro.
jazz."
They can take it.
Can they? Can they
Yeah,
really?
they can take. They'll be all right. But what I was going to ask you is like back then in the day, like '78, predate, like all that stuff. Like how, if you were like a musician, like and you were starting out, say you're like the Beatles or something like that, and you didn't have anybody that knew you, you didn't have anybody that you don't have any fans. How do you start like gaining such a big fan base? How do you get to stardom like they did? Like, and I understand that at a certain point it was easy to them to gain momentum, but like at first, how do they even do? How do you even do that at that time with no like social media or any like anything like that? You know?
Word of mouth. You would play bar shows and, Steve would be like, "Hey, Jim, there's this band called the Beatles. They played at this bar over the weekend. They're gonna be playing here again. You should go listen to them." And then Jim goes, and Jim's like, "Oh, that's a that's a right on tasty musical number." I'm gonna stop. This is becoming borderline offensive towards British people. But no, it was literally just like how do you consume music today outside of streaming? Like you personally,
Well, to be honest with you, I don't consume music outside of streaming.
you don't listen to the radio.
No, I feel like radio, like if I get in a car, I turn on the radio, right? Like the Cincinnati pop radio or the rock radio. I feel like that's NPC radio, bro. Like,
Okay,
like
fair point.
who wants to listen to the same songs over on repeat all the time? And some people do it, but I guess satellite radio is a different option. But I don't know.
I'm.
I
I
just
mean, my Apple Music replay last year was just the same album like 70 times. So
yeah, but who wants to listen to like Megan Thee Stallion and like the baby on fucking repeat all day? You know what I'm
I
saying?
always hear about the baby. I don't know who I don't know these people anymore. I'm only familiar with Megan Thee Stallion because WAP and She-Hulk,
And
but
you watch She-Hulk.
yeah, She-Hulk was good. But,
um,
well, so, like, Foxing, like, were they opening for someone, or did somebody open for them when you saw them?
somebody opened for them, but for them it was like different because like nobody was expecting that, and like somebody from the EDM scene was gonna be there, and they opened for them, and everybody just like stood there and like watched the projector with all the visuals and stuff, but nobody was into it because it just wasn't the right
Wait, hold
audience.
on, hold on. An indie alt band had an EDM artist open for them?
Yeah, man, and like
Talk
okay, so
about
this is
mismatched.
this is us, like we're just standing there in the audience, right? And we're just hanging
And you're
out.
just
You
like,
know,
arms to your side, just,
yeah,
"This is
we're just
weird, I
waiting
don't
for the
get
show
it."
to start. We don't know why this guy's on stage, like messing with stuff. Like I thought that was like maybe Foxing was going to be the only people to play. Like I didn't even think they were going to have an opener. Then all of a sudden, this guy behind a laptop, you know, takes over a mic to his face, and he's like, "I'm excited about this. I bet you guys are too." And then everybody just starts like looking at each other, like, "What are we doing?" and all of a
And ev
sudden he just
and
like
everyone said, "No, no, we're not."
and then he just starts playing this visual of like naked anime girls like on screen with like EDM playing, and everybody was just like, "What is going on? We're not. This isn't us. This isn't what we like." But to be fair, that's some people's thing, but it's just not mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the unfortunate thing about, shows at, like, Fall Out Boy. They're releasing a new album, going on tour. I was interested in trying to catch their closest stop, but it happens to be the day before I'm leaving town to go to the Blink-182 show, so I can't.
Man,
Um,
wouldn't that be a good back to back right there?
I know. Oh, wait, I wonder hold on, I wonder if I can prolong my trip and catch them if they go there next. No.
Shut up.
Um,
Uh,
I
I
think
don't
that I
like
think
Fall Out
they're
Boy, man.
see, okay, I like Fall Out Boy's big songs, you know, like, I like Thanks for the Memories. I even like Centuries and, like, Save Rock and more what's
You
that? What's
only
the
like you only
Phoenix?
like uh,
I
my
also like Disloyal Water Buffalo, whatever that song's called, it's pretty neat.
shut up. Well, I don't know. I feel like a lot
I
of it.
can say whatever I want, and you're gonna have to believe that that's a Fall Out Boy title because,
I don't know
you know.
Fallout Boy titles.
Right. But
I know
speaking of
Thanks for the Memories. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, Sugar We're Going Down.
yeah,
Yeah, I know
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Your high school marching band did a Fall Out Boy show.
Yeah, but I mean, I was a tuba player. I wasn't really a part of that, you know.
Dude, Pete Wentz doesn't even play bass in Fall Out Boy. Like, the early Fall Out Boy live shows, he didn't know how to play bass. He
Who
learned on the
doesn't know how to play
road.
bass?
Pete Wentz used to. But, who do you think their opening act is?
Bring Me the Horizon.
It is Bring Me the Horizon. I don't
Yeah,
understand that. Like,
that's very strange. But to be
'cause
fair, Bring Me the Horizon in like beginner years, you know, like their early stuff is like screamo, but they've like
Fall Out
evolved
Boy's
into this like
gospel, man.
yeah, but no,
It's like
they are
pseudo
not gospel
gospel.
for one stop.
Oh, no, no, hold on. I said it's pseudo gospel. They have a bunch
Okay,
of gospel soul elements, like Patrick
I'll
has the
accept
soul
that.
voice.
Yeah, but Bring Me the Horizon, they've kind of evolved into like a you know like a pop kind of band. Like they're not really what they used to be. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I kind of I like a few of their songs, like newer songs, but like personally, like I'm just not a metalhead, so I didn't like their older stuff.
Oh, I have a playlist of the worst songs ever. I think there might be a Bring Me the Horizon song on there. But I have to check because I'm not sure.
What's your number
Nope,
one on that
it's,
list?
well, it's not in any order. But it's don't if there's any Bring Me the Horizon fans listening to this, it's Falling in Reverse that I was thinking about.
Oh, I we have a lot of opinions in this podcast already. I don't like Falling Universe.
Popular
Uh,
Monster has a catchy chorus, but the verses are just like, "I'm just kind of sad and I'm not going through a phase. I swear I'm only like in my 30s and it's not a phase. Trust me." But then the chorus is catchy and it's like, "What are you doing?" Like,
maybe you just need a
pick.
little more time, and you might relate with that song a little more.
Um, I'm good.
I guess we're sad also because Panic at the Disco broke up. I guess.
How can a solo artist break up?
Man, I mean, there's plenty of like solo artists that have like a band name associated with them. Like
If Taylor Swift fired all of her touring musicians and then started, um, touring under the name Swifty T, would you say that like, "Oh, the Taylor Swift band broke up and she's gone solo as Swifty T?"
no, but I think that would be different because I feel like that would mean because that's like a legacy thing though. Like Panic at the Disco was a band. You know what I'm saying? So like
Was. years
But
ago.
that's also the thing that a lot of people don't really realize is that a lot of the people don't realize that that's not it's only one person band. But when people
Right.
listen to the music, they're probably like, "Oh, well, there's probably at least 4 or 5 people in this band," like people who don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that, like, I'm torn on the way to feel about Brendan Urie as a musician because he's undeniably talented, but I don't know if he knows how to use that talent in a way that makes sense because, um, it's so, like, have you, like, gone to, like, a Guitar Center and there's just, like, that one person in the back who's just shredding metal licks, just
Okay, yeah, I know what you're going to say. Is
because
it
that's
that
what
like
Brendan does with high notes.
it
It's just like
because
it doesn't do anything musically, it's just, "Oh, I could hit a high B flat here, I'm gonna hit a high B flat here because, why not?"
that's the thing, like in their early days and in his early days, like a lot of the stuff he made had a lot more like personality and like feeling like it's a good amount of soul to it. It was just was like really really good because it was more him instead of like now he's evolved into just like showing off what he can do.
Mhm.
Like you
Yep.
said, it's just like I can hit this highest. But his new music, the only reason I don't like it is because like I just feel like it's I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same as it used to.
I totally get that, I mean, and here's the thing, I mean, they've been a band for Panic at the Disco has existed for, like, what, 13 years, something like that?
Something on a long time.
No, no. Oh god, no. 17. 2005, right?
How old is he? He's having his kid, isn't he? He's having a kid.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
see.
Is
Let's
that the
look at
reason he chose to not do that anymore? Is that why he broke up his
y
one man band?
yeah. So Brendan is 35,
Okay.
and Panic at the Disco formed in he joined the band in 2004, and they released their first album in 2005. So,
Was Panic at the Disco his like band? Did
it
he
was not. He joined the band to be a guitar player, and then the
really?
the guy that became the guitar player was like, "You should sing. You're better," or like, "This is more suited for you," or whatnot. Um,
That's something I did not know, but that is very interesting.
yeah, so that's the thing that, like, and I'm like, and here's the thing. I found a clip of Brendan saying that, whenever he points out that there were other people that wrote "I Write Sins, Not Tragedies," that he had, that he was a part of the band at that time, that people get, like, mad at him for being like, "But you're the one that sang it." And he's like, "Okay, but I didn't write it." Like, you know, Panic at the Disco wrote it. And to that, I'm like, "Okay, at least he's acknowledging that, like,
Yeah.
he was he was a part of a puzzle piece," but I don't think he acknowledges that he's a part of a puzzle piece enough because he hasn't written many songs without having an army of writers, and again, that's whatever, people are gonna use writers. He's a pop artist. Pop artists especially use writers for some reason. I mean, it's not
I
that
really don't
uncommon.
understand why.
Well, it's
You would never
because
be able to tell. You'd never be able to tell they have writers.
yeah, with lines like, "You're the only one that knows how to operate my heavy machinery." And here's the I
uh,
love that song from the new album, but that line, I'm like, and he's belting it too. He's like high notes, like
a lot of emotion in that statement.
yeah. I'm just like, but uh, yeah. So all tracks were written by Brendan Urie, Jake Sinclair, and Mike Viola, unless noted. Um, and the ones like the songs that are like "Except Noted," it just is those same 3 people plus like an extra 2 here and there. So,
Okay, so let's have a sit down coming to God moment right now. I want
yes.
to know something.
Yes.
So, when say like in that situation, so I just don't understand why it's really it's a tragic thing that like whenever a band
Or is
makes a
it a
song,
sin? Do, do, do,
yeah,
do, do,
yeah, whatever. Whenever a band makes a song, it's not the band's song. Like in the public view, it does, like if that lead singer leaves that band, that song will still be associated with that lead singer, but barely anybody remembers the guitarist or the bassist or the drummer. It's like it's just it doesn't it's kind of sad. Like
Yeah,
I feel like they are such a bigger puzzle piece to what has been created than what the lead singer has done or whatever. Like and they get all the credit for it.
right,
And even
right,
if it's not like officially they get all the credit for it, it's like an unspoken thing. You know what I'm saying?
right, and I think because we're musicians, like, we're gonna think about it that way, you know? But, like, to the average person, they might just hear the person singing and be like, "Well, they're clearly, like they're the lead singer, so it's their band, it's their music, it's their songs," and it's like, but, I mean, unless you're Maroon 5, um, you've got you've got people you collaborate with, you know, and, like, if let's just say, right, I was a bog standard, like, root note playing bass player in a band, right?
Yeah.
And, let's say, like, doing a show, and, like, after the show, people are gathering around, and they're, like, taking pictures of the lead singer and whatnot, and I'm just, like, sitting there like, like, the show would be really empty if I wasn't here. You would know if I wasn't here, but you didn't notice or cared that I was here, you know? Or like, let's say you're in a band and you're performing, and then the lead singer just, like, towards the end of the show goes, "Alright, guys, I have been the lead singer. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate you. Here's my last song. This song is called blah, 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 blah." And then, like, the drummer just counts them out, and then it's, like, very just like, "Me, me, 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 me."
Yeah.
You would be like, "Hey, I'm a musician. I'm on stage too. I practice, I rehearse, I learn my part." And, like but like
Yeah.
you're saying, the general public, they don't care about that person, you know?
I don't know.
So,
It's just like it's sad.
it I d yeah, it's like and that's be I care so much about, like, most bands that I listen to, I can name every member. Not all of them, like, not all the bands, I should say, but most of them, I'm like, "Yeah, I know the members because I appreciate their contribution too." Like, Weezer's bass players basically determine if like, not if it's gonna be good, but what it's gonna sound like at its heart. And I don't know why that is, but you can tell when they've swapped bass players in Weezer. They've only they've only had, like, 3 that matter. There may be, like, a 4th guy, but the first one left, the second one died, and then the 3rd one is Scott.
Freaking Scott, you
Yeah.
know?
Or, like, listen to Blink-182's, like, first 2 albums without Travis, and then listen to Blink-182 stuff with Travis, you're like, "Whoa." Like, that drummer took lessons. No, they just got a new one. And then, like, listen to Blink-182 with Matt Skiba, and it's like, "Hey, that guy sounds like he could probably do something good. Why is he on this track?" And then you listen to Alkaline Trio, you're like, "Oh, that's what he's capable of, okay." You know?
Oh my god.
I lost the point of that sentence, but,
That's what rants do, I suppose. You
Yeah.
get you get started, you have a heavy, a go, and then you just forget what you're talking about at the
I
end.
like Nine and I like California, the 2 Blink-182 albums with Matt Skiba, but with that being said, they did not utilize Matt Skiba as much as they could have. They I mean, he certainly was in the band. He certainly brought a different vocal style to the studio recordings, but he wasn't really allowed to be Matt Skiba. on the tracks, and that
Why Matt Skiba? Why was it Matt Skiba? Why did
um
he fill the spot? I feel like
M-
there's so many people that could have taken that spot. Why him?
Mark and Matt had talked about wanting to work on something, um, anyways, and then like Mark was just at a moment where Blink-182 had shows scheduled and Tom wasn't around, and he was just like, "Hey, Matt, you're insanely talented. Do you want to play with Blink-182?" And Matt was like, "Yeah, that sounds fun. I'll do those shows." And then Mark was like, "Hey, we're gonna record an album. You wanna record the album?" Matt was like, "Yeah, that sounds fun. I'll record the album." And the Blink-182 fans hated him for no reason. Matt Skiba is so talented. Matt Skiba's great. I
Well,
love Matt Skiba.
okay, but yeah, Matt Skiba is great. It's not the fact that he isn't. I think it was just the fact that he was put in a position that
He
it
was
wasn't
replacing
Tom
Tom
DeLonge.
DeLonge,
It
right,
wasn't Tom DeLonge. Yeah,
right.
it's just like it's like that with everything.
And
I
that's
feel like a lot of shoes are unfilled because people don't let people fill them. You know what I'm saying?
right. And I mean, I was super happy when Tom reunited with the band and, they dropped Edging and people are like, "It's not even a good song." Dude, I listen to that song multiple times every week and it still gets me as
Okay,
excited as it did the day it dropped. I am so happy just that they're
it
friends
did what it
again,
was supposed to. It did what it was supposed to.
Well, like, Travis is alive still, that's a miracle. Mark is alive, he beat cancer. He beat stage 4 cancer. That's also a miracle. And then Tom was just like, "You know what? Yeah, I'm ready, guys."
I'm ready, guys. I might never get this chance again if I don't act on it soon.
The
uh,
aliens might come, and I might be too busy with that, so gotta get on
I
this quick.
I think the beauty behind Blink 182 and what I liked so much about them is the fact that like whenever they started, none of them knew what they were doing. They just wanted to play some music, and like they did, and they were just like, we're gonna make this, and they did,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they're making great hits,
See,
and they become big.
right,
It's insane.
Tom
It's like such an inspiration because like it happens to some people.
so, Tom told a great story about this in his Ernie Ball Pursuit of Tone documentary, where basically he was like, our manager or whatever at the time was like, "Tom, what what's your vision? Like, what do you want to do?" And Tom was like, "I want to do a show in the middle of, the street that I live on with people coming out and just watching us perform in the middle of the street." And then the guy was like, "So for like how many people?" And Tom was like, "Oh, like, 20 or like 30 or whatever." And then the manager was like, "Okay, you're gonna do like that, but like 10 times bigger. Like you guys are gonna be successful. So like playing bigger, basically, is what it boils down to. And it's like you said, it's crazy because they weren't necessarily good musicians, but they were so honest. And that's what I like about like a lot of punk stuff and like rock in general and just like alternative and indie stuff. It's just you don't have to be the greatest musician. You don't have to be the greatest singer. You don't have to be the greatest guitar player. You don't even have to know anything about music theory or nothing. You just show up,
He
do
just
do
yeah.
what you want to do, and as long as you do it honestly, people are going to be like, "Yeah, you're a genuine person. I care about what you have to say."
That's really beautiful. It's true. It's definitely true. It
Well, yeah,
if you
I
do
hope
it,
so.
if you, I mean, it's just like if you most of the time if you have ungenuine intent and you just don't like if you only make something because you want to make it sound like something else and like it's like people will call you out for that. I don't know. Like I just feel like it's a really good community these days.
Yep.
I dig it.
Yeah, I'd agree. But, speaking of good community, right? Um,
Yeah.
the Hawaii Part 2 repress vinyl finally came out after years of not. The album came out in 2012. The last repressing, I think, was in 2020 before I even knew the band, and I got the shipping confirmation today. I'm going to have my favorite album on vinyl.
I'm very happy for you,
Thank you.
but I'll have to give that album a listen because I've never heard anything of it before.
Yes, you have. The Mind Electric, and you hated it.
Oh,
Yes.
maybe I just need to listen to it in a different setting. You know what I'm saying?
Listen to it front to back and then form an opinion on it.
Yeah, yeah. That probably altered my opinion a lot when I just popped in the middle. You know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah,
listen to an album in
yeah.
full, sometimes it gives you a better uh, idea of what you actually like out of it.
From what I hear, the band Dented Fender, they're releasing an EP, and it's like really like it's designed to be listened to like as a whole. That like you can hear the
Yeah.
evolution of their music from track one to track. I don't know how many tracks it's going to be.
Are you talking about that band that formed out of a car shop in somewhere in Kentucky?
I don't think it was a car shop. I think it was like a wreck. Like the four guys got into a wreck and like two of them died.
Shut up.
I
uh,
mean, but I don't know. I mean, all I know is that like they've posted teasers for like Summer's like the song called Summer's Lost, and now it's like Summer's
yeah,
Lost Part 1, which implies that there's a part 2 somewhere. So I don't know what that's going to be
yeah.
like. It's kind of
We'll
nifty though.
we'll definitely be looking out for it. We'll review it whenever it comes out. You know.
Yeah, man.
Do you have any other serious music news these days?
Serious music news.
Yeah,
I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk
that was
about.
all that was on your radar.
Yeah,
Is that Brendan Urie broke up with Panic at the Disco and Ozzy Osbourne has stopped touring?
and Fall Out Boy is releasing a new album. I like the 2 songs. Some people don't. That's
Fair
okay.
enough.
You don't have to like everything a band puts out. Um,
That's fair.
Joe Hawley has confirmed that there will be more Hawaii Part 2 vinyl pressings coming in the future. So I need to start a credit card now because I'm getting all of them. Capitalism.
You're
He
ridiculous.
literally
You're like,
new not new but other Tally Hall related news. Needle Juice Records confirmed that their order of Good and Evil on vinyl, that the production is finished and that they should be receiving the Good and Evil vinyl soon. So maybe might get them before March, like the website says. I don't know. Tally Hall.
you're definitely the merch guy. I've never been that much of a merch guy.
It's not really.
I like some merch here and there, but I've just never really been a collector of it.
I like records. I like the colors that they come in.
You're really freaking me out with your eyeball, man. That doesn't look right at all.
You're talking about something that the audience can't see.
Oh, are you not showing your video?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to show your video. I was like, it's a perfect recommendation. Like, it shows exactly what I'm talking about if you just look behind you.
No.
There's
No.
like pirate ships and speakers and posters and pop
Hand
vitals
hand painted speakers.
and swords.
Those are keyblades. Power Rangers. Um, a Z for Zatexel. The Batmobile, right there. But anyways,
Okay.
the audience can't see that, so that was
Yeah.
a waste of time.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to talk about, Dylan?
I mean, honestly, my you don't know anything about them, but my favorite band, Boy Geniuses, came out with three more songs, and they are going on tour again, and I'm pretty excited about that because I didn't think they would ever do that. I thought that I'd never be able to see them, but they're coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, bussin', dude. When are they gonna be there?
Yeah. Sometime in the next month. They haven't started selling tickets yet. Not next month, but in the next few months. but
All right.
pre-sales haven't happened yet, so hopefully not many people pick them up so I can get
Do you
mine, you know what I'm saying?
do you have a song by them that you think the audience should check out?
Um, uh, yeah, Souvenir by Boy Genius. It's a really good song. I like that song.
You heard it here. Souvenir by Boy Genius is your Zatexel song recommendation of the week. I will include a link in the description below. Go check out that band. I know I will. Um, anything else, Dylan?
Check out Mr. D's Happy Hour if you'd like. I also have a YouTube channel under Mr. D. Um, we will continue this next week.
Thanks for
Thank
listening.
everybody for watching.
Please give us a like, comment, and subscribe. This podcast was sponsored by absolutely no one, and we're gonna fix that. So if you're a sponsor company, like you give out sponsors, send us an email at zatexel@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much.